Hello everybody and welcome to NBL Overtime. The off-season continues. We of course have some pretty prominent free agents still in the NBL world. We've got some Australians guaranteed to go to Summer League. We'll talk about that. And of course, the USA squad has been announced. We'll be in Australia on our shores heading to a World Cup in only a couple of months' time. I'm Cameron Luke. Get involved anytime you like. Hashtag NBL Overtime. Hashtag NBL 20. And our main man, Corey Homicide Williams, has bought himself a new suit in Mongolia. You look fresh, my man. What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing
Always
good.
a pleasure seeing you again,
Good
Cam.
to see you,
Good to
man.
see you.
We're going to get to your trip in a moment. Liam Santa Maria, who has literally just come out of the Santa Maria cave after writing a wonderful article on the NBL salary cap for dummies, to which I was one of. So we'll get into that. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm feeling a little underdressed, but you are
you and me
looking
both.
Very nice.
Thank you, man.
Well, what's going on here?
What's the story here?
You were away last
Tell
week in
the people.
Mongolia. Tell everyone where you've been, what you've done.
You're not dressed like this for NBL Overtime.
Yeah, we're stunned.
Well, yeah, I had an opportunity to call play-by-play for FIBA 3x3 World Cup under 18s. It was in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. It was an incredible week. Saw some tremendous young talent in the world. It was 20 men's teams and 20 women's teams going at it for the World Cup. So it was just an incredible experience and opportunity. So, you know, look, my goal is to commentate 3x3 in the Olympics 2020 Japan. So this was just the first leg. This was just the beginning. I will be in Japan 2020 covering the Olympics for 3x3. Watch this space.
Just on that, and congratulations on the appointment you haven't told us about yet, but obviously...
What?
Does that make you an Olympian?
No. I mean,
I'm only joking. No, we did see, we got some, so we sent some pics of you last week. You did a wonderful job of doing so much with the Insta story. It's the middle of summer in Mongolia, mate. You were wrapped up like you're in Antarctica. You okay?
Oh my goodness. It was just, it was cold.
Yeah?
You know, the other side of it, I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could really do this. And it was play-by-play. It was by myself. I was doing 8-hour days, 5 days out of 7. And it was really cold. So I was really happy with the result. I now know I can do it by myself. That's not something I would want to do by myself. I mean, it's better when clearly I'm freezing my ass off. Look at me right there. It was cold as hell.
Really?
But, you know, yeah, I had a blanket around me. Like, it was really cold.
I see that. It is the middle of summer, though, isn't it, in Mongolia?
Yeah, it is the middle of summer in Mongolia. But, yeah, it was no joke.
Okay. So have you come back with some newfound sort of respect for, you know, the people like Liam and I who have to host to do play-by-play?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I definitely always show you guys love and respect and appreciate what you guys do. But
More so now.
it was awesome. Yeah, definitely.
No,
I
you did
love
do a
your
wonderful
approach,
job.
Corey. I love
Thanks,
it. You
man.
remind me of the
Appreciate it.
boomers.
Talk to me
The
about
boomers come out and they just say, we want to go and we're going to go and we're going to win the gold medal.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it out there. This is our goal. We're okay for you to know about it because that means we're okay for you to know if we don't achieve it.
That's
we
right.
Put ourselves out there and do that.
That's right.
And that's what you're doing. I like it.
Appreciate it, man. You know, bet on yourself.
No doubt. It's going to be
You know,
awkward, of course,
bet
if
on
Liam
yourself.
Santa Maria gets that commentating job, but we'll play that by ear. All right, some news that has, in the last 24 hours, dropped is the USA squad, the squad that's going to be coming here, not only to the World Cup in China, but right here in Australia, and we'll play the Australians at Marvel Stadium in August. We have a look at it. I think there's 7 All-Stars in the group. It's a star-studded lineup and a team that's going to be very fun to watch. Harrison Barnes at the top there, Bradley Beal, an All-Star, Anthony Davis, who continues to be linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. You look at Kevin Love, a championship there. Kyle Lowry on the verge of a championship, maybe at the Raptors, although couldn't get it done today. CJ McCollum. See young guns as well, like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum have had really good 2 first years in the NBA as well. And, of course, headlined by James Harden.
For the spectacle, keep the graphic up. For the purpose of the spectacle, give me the 3 players you hope are on the team.
Anthony Davis,
Tick.
James Harden,
Tick.
and I would say probably Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I reckon Donovan...
Spider Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell and Tatum are the 2 of those guys that I think a lot of neutral fans in Australia might not know who watch the NBA, who don't watch the NBA religiously, are going to enjoy both of those guys' work. And those guys too, in the last couple of years, in certain moments, in particular 12 months ago, Jason Tatum had to be the leader on a Celtics team that was so young and got themselves to Game 7 of that Eastern Conference Finals. They're 2 guys I reckon are going to enjoy sliding in, not have to be the alpha dog, so to speak, and be able to enjoy being able to catch and shoot and play with some other players. So I think Mitchell and Tatum will be 2 guys that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy watching.
I really hope that Donovan Mitchell makes his way over because watching him play against Joe Ingles will be very, very fun. And, I mean, they're going to put together a really, really good team out of that squad. but we can beat that. Whatever team they put together out of that squad, we can beat them.
Well, you know what? It's going to be a really, really good game. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere and an amazing opportunity for the Boomers to put on against some of the best talent in the world. And, I mean, what better place to do it than in Marvel Stadium? You know what I mean? Like, I said it earlier today on another show that this is probably the single most incredible event in the history of Australian sport to be happening in Australia. This is going to be incredible.
110,000 people expected to go through the gates at Marvel. And the thing on that squad as well is they're very up and down the floor. They're going to be a young athletic team as well at different times. So Mitchells, the Tatums, Anthony Davis, and the way James Harden plays his basketball, we're going to see not you don't really see this as much with, say, the USA style of basketball. It's probably more European style. But for people who go to these two games and watch it on TV, fingers crossed, and hopefully that works out as well, it's going to be an up and down, fun, entertaining game to watch with that squad that the USA have named in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, it will be. If I had to pick one, I think James Harden is the one we...
Can you imagine James Harden dancing up and down that court, step back, triple step back, jump shot?
Who guards him?
Nobody. Nobody. Listen,
opening tip,
let's keep it real right now.
No,
let's keep it real.
No. Who guards him? Not who stops
Nobody.
him. Okay. Well, what? They just let him run out by himself?
Who's going to guard him on the Boomers?
Well, someone's got to go to him.
Nobody is going to stop
Opening
that.
tip.
Oh!
Opening tip. Marvel Stadium. Who stands next to James Harden?
I'm going to say it's going to have to be Joe Ingles.
Okay.
That's what's going to have to be.
Maybe. Delhi?
What do you think?
Delhi, maybe?
Delhi? Delhi, listen, man. Don't go to...
You see Delhi guard Steph Curry in the finals?
Do not go to James Harden. Please. Put maybe Ben on him.
Maybe. Hey.
You know what I mean? Maybe put Ben on him.
Do you know what?
Or
There's
Joe
options.
with a little lamp.
There's options.
I'm just saying, whoever's going to guard him,
we're gonna win
going
one
to
of those
get
games.
torched.
We're going to win one of those games.
If they do win one of these games at Marvel Stadium,
I think we will.
All right, so they win one.
Yeah.
Does that heightens the expectations, obviously, towards the World Cup?
No worries.
Does it add the pressure, though?
Yes.
It does.
Of course.
But you embrace the pressure. No, you
Do you
embrace
think
the
they'll
pressure.
embrace the pressure?
Why not?
I'm not saying they
Because
won't.
you've got no other
saying.
choice. You got no other choice. If you've got pressure in a situation, you either embrace it or you shy away from it.
100%. And to be honest with you, the time is now.
I agree.
You know, the time is right now for Australian basketball, for the Boomers. I mean, the list that they put together is awesome as well. So I just like both of you and the rest of the other 100,000+ people that are going to be in that venue.
You got tickets yet?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out today.
Oh, okay.
What's going on?
Oh, okay.
Crazy? Homicide got to be in the building.
I couldn't agree more.
So,
I would almost say NBL Overtime has to be in the building.
I mean, hello.
But we said that about Kobe as well, and the two of us were
Leave it to me. I'm going to have a meeting with some people
I've heard
today.
this before. Oh, okay. No
And,
wonder you're so dressed up.
I'll come back. Now,
got a
I'm
big
dressed
day.
down for that meeting.
Okay, cool. All right. There you go. Looking forward to that. There are tickets still available, so get involved. All right. A little bit closer. Summer League not too far away. And Harry Frawley, of course, a great first year for the Adelaide 36ers. Continues to work out with teams, and you did catch up with him and had a chat to him, but we're heading towards a Summer League for Harry Frawley.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be on a Summer League roster. The big question is whether he gets drafted or not, right? He's been doing those pre-draft workouts. I like this quote he gave me. I believe in myself 100%. I think I'm going to be in the NBA in the next year or two for sure, one way or another. I like his confidence. It's a fine line between kind of overconfidence and realism. I like his confidence. I also like his perspective. He seems to have a good appreciation for the fact that he's probably not going to get drafted and that he'll probably land back with the 36ers and that this is going to be a journey for him over the next couple of years. He's worked out with Utah, Sacramento and Philadelphia. He was supposed to work out with Washington, but with cancelled flights and flight delays, he didn't make that. Ended up going straight to Philadelphia. And speaking to him, he and speaking, on background off the he said he's happy. He feels happy with the way he played, which is a good sign because I could imagine after those workouts it'd be easy to walk away going, I'm not sure if I showed him what I needed to show him or I wasn't at the level. He said, I feel pretty good about what I showed and I've got some good feedback and now it's a waiting game.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit, and a lot of people have, about the possible miscommunication about him being in the draft this year or next, and what that might mean when it comes to him being in a physical shape to attack these draft camps and then, of course, into a summer league. Something that I have been really impressed with looking at video of him, or at least photos of him. He looks really ripped. He looks in the best shape I've ever actually seen him. That's through college and through his 1 year at the NBL. Now, I'm not saying that he's in the ultimate shape that he needs to be in, but he does really look he's in pretty good shape right now.
New
I can barely speak. That's how excited I am about Australia being in the summer league.
His new management put the wheels in motion quickly, and they sent him to Miami. They put him with a trainer, and in a situation where he was going to work out every day, and they needed to get him into really good nick, which for me has me starting to think, okay, the most likely scenario is that he doesn't get drafted. He's hoping he does. That would be great, but he probably won't. Wow, he's going to be in great nick heading into this season with the Adelaide 36ers.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Please.
Look, you're going to say something after I say this, but whatever. It's
normally,
not true.
I normally do.
It's not true.
That's usually how it goes.
Shout out to Mogul Sports. And let me tell you why.
Come on, man.
You have to understand that, one, we know if nothing else, here's the play, okay? We need to make sure our client is in the best possible shape to represent himself in front of these NBA teams. Who we sent him to? Ronnie Taylor, which is like a brother of mine, who's the trainer that's training him.
Oh, you
world-class trainer. That's my brother. That's family. Right. Known him for years.
Ah, there you go.
Friends of the program.
Okay.
So he's in great hands. You know what I mean? He's looking. That's why when you say he's looking good, he's working his ass off every day in Miami. It's not hanging out and partying. This guy trains Amari Stoudemire. He trains a lot of PJ Tucker. These are who he's training. This is a world-class trainer. He's played overseas over 10 years. Stop playing ball to train.
Right.
So, just so you know, he's in great hands over there. But I wish him the best. And you're right, the way his perspective and his mindset is, he's like, at one point or another, I'm going to get to the league, even if it's not right now. Couple years in the NBL. After that, I'm getting there. And what do we know about the NBL? It ain't a cupcake league. So, he's playing against world-class talent. It's only a matter of time for this kid.
Big shout-out to Mogul Sports as well. Becomes a fourth agency to be mentioned in the last month.
So the one agency you mentioned 4 times. Come on, man.
I mean, you brought it up. You just ain't say the name.
Well, you
brought up the trainer.
He looks.
I just knew the people's names. That was it. I just confirmed who these people were.
We need to even up the ledger over the next couple of weeks.
And all of a sudden, tickets will fly out of nowhere. All right, Isaac Humphries, we know he will be at the Summer League with the Clippers. Tell us a little more about that.
Shout out to Lighthouse Sports Management.
Here we go!
Getting Isaac Humphries' spot with the Clippers in Summer League. And he's really excited to have locked that in this early. We always know that's a good sign.
Yeah.
All right, and people don't know that Mitch Creek had that situation locked in with Dallas early. Torrey Craig had that situation locked in with Denver early. If you have to go to the mini camps and stuff to get you out on the roster, you're probably not going to play minutes at Summer League. But if you get locked in early, you're a good chance to get some tick. And he thinks that there's a good chance to play some good minutes with the Clippers at Summer League, a potential two-way opportunity. And interesting, I mean, if you've been following him on Twitter, he's got a big concert coming up in Kentucky where he's singing for charity. And he is super talented with his music. And one of the things he said was, I'm so psyched to have this opportunity to maybe stick with the Clippers because LA is the perfect place for me to be for both basketball and my other interests.
Hey, were you aware of his voice prior to his Twitter work in the last 4 or 5 days?
Yeah. It came out a little bit while he was, a couple of years ago. But
have you seen him
it's getting better and better.
No, but I just appreciate the fact that he's more than an athlete.
Yeah.
So many times as athletes, people just feel that they only know you based off of what you do. So, they don't know really what your true passion is. Maybe he doesn't really love basketball as much as singing, but he's just a talented basketball player who can sing.
Right.
So it's just incredible. That story's incredible. Another incredible story from a young Aussie. Leaves the University of Kentucky, doesn't get drafted, come here, Rookie of the Year, goes to FMP in Europe, right? Does well, jumps to the G League, kills it, gets to the league. Now he's going to Summer League, and locked in early, which means they want you. They're going to give you a really good look.
Yeah.
Great opportunity.
You know what's interesting? I asked him, I said, that taste you had with the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA at the end of last season, what's that done for your motivation? Because I thought he would say, well, once I got a taste, like now I really want to go. He said, actually, no. it goes further back to that. He said, I fell back in love with the game at the playing in the G League, which is not something you often hear about playing in the G League. He said, all the pressure and the expectation and this potential tag that hung over me. I'm paraphrasing him here, but then going into the G League and playing in that situation, something clicked, and he's fallen back into love with the game and keen to take advantage of these opportunities.
It always helps when you're playing well, which you did in the G League, and playing minutes as well. That's something else that has to, I think, been taken into account at different times, because you want to play at the highest level, and for most athletes and basketballs, it is the NBA, but you get over there, you play spot minutes, 1 or 2 minutes here, and you do, not suggesting it happened to him because he hadn't been there yet, but it occasionally hurts you a little bit with your love for the game. He came here for Sydney, played well, spent time in Europe, and then goes to the G League, and you're playing minutes and you're playing the game that you grew up loving. And the game, and when you're a kid, you don't dream of playing in the NBA and sitting on the bench. You dream of being the hero. Now, he hadn't quite got there yet, but that might be a little bit into it as well, because he was playing minutes in the G League and going well, and it always helps you enjoy your craft.
Did you hear what you just said? Playing minutes, right? Not sitting on the bench. You just agreed and said, Going back to something, fellas. Sunday Deck, why he left Perth Wildcats. You just said it. You just agreed to it.
Yeah, but the thing with Sunday Deck
I was just nodding. And
he was going to get some more time.
You agreed. I was waiting. I'm usually waiting for when you bringing stuff back.
That was
I've been waiting.
7
It's all
weeks
here,
ago.
man.
Sharp today, isn't he?
Tell you
He
what,
is sharp.
he's fresh from Mongolia.
Fresh from Mongolia.
Hey, but can I just say about Isaiah Humphries? If he going into the summer league, playing minutes there, he needs to go in with the right mentality.
No doubt.
Because he's not going to get the ball. Guys like
another way.
They don't get Jock Landau. I watched it all happen all summer league last year. The guy is a killer in the block. He's like Ty Wesley down there, but he couldn't get a catch.
Right.
And it was the frustration was building game in, game out. He needs to have that Mitch Creek mentality of I'm going to be a dog defensively. I'm going to talk nonstop, and I'm going to get us extra possessions on the offensive glass.
And that's what the Summer League's all about. It's about guards just having the pill in their hand and showing someone else they can do what they can do. If it's not the team they're playing for, it's someone else who's watching in the stands. All right, back to the NBL, because we do have some pretty high-profile names and somewhat surprising names that are yet to pick up a contract or at least a home into the NBL 20. Dave Anderson, Venky Joyce, Cam Bairstow. Three of them there. I think there's one more that I've forgotten. Yes, Nate Jowai, of course, at the Cairns Taipans. They're four players that, and bigger guys in the block that are always traditionally given a little more latitude when it comes to signing later, I guess, in the rotation in the roster. What are you hearing, Liam? I'll start with you about these four guys who, in particular Cam Bairstow, that I thought would guarantee have a job by now.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about Venky Joyce. People are sick of hearing me talk about Venky Joyce. I would have thought he'd be picked up by now.
Does that count as the NBL drinking game? Did someone?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So you've said his name.
I've said it a couple of times now.
Bring in the tequila.
There's a chance he might end up back in Europe, which is a shame because I think he could have an impact, and he's doing really well in the NZNBL right now.
Yeah.
Dave Anderson's an interesting one because I think he would be, and I've said this before a couple of weeks ago, I think he would be a good re-signing for Illawarra. Okay, they've got some other bigs, I know, in Boone and Ogilvy and Sam Frawley now, but I think another veteran presence in that locker room with their bevy of young talent would be good. I think maybe they might also be having another good look at Nick Pozoglu, who's playing really well in the NBL 1. But they are totally different, right? Pozoglu's trying to break his way in. Anderson's probably got one, maybe two years left. But I think he'd be a good veteran presence there. I'm not really hearing too much about any of these guys, which is kind of part of the story, yeah.
What do you think? Cam Bairstow had a really good year last year. Really good year.
All those players you name, I rate. I think they can help teams, leadership, coming off the bench, being a plus. However, if they're still around this long with nobody approaching them, either they got approached and the numbers were too low for them, or teams know, like, we can get them at the end of the day later for less. So it's worth the gamble of not grabbing them this early.
The Nate Jowai situation is an interesting one. He's in really good shape, been playing over in France, has come back now and is working out. But his previous contract with Cairns was underpinned by the government up there. And so he was a marquee player. He was a big investment. And part of it is because he's beloved up in far north Queensland and the work that he does in the community, which is why the government got involved. Let's bring our favourite son back. Well, the question is, and I don't know the answer, the question is, well, are they still on board? And are they on board for signing a new contract. And I have a feeling that may be what's holding this process up. But I think I'd be surprised if it doesn't end up with Joey re-signing with the Taipans.
An extra team in the NBL, so an extra 10 or 12 spots. If we had got, what are we now, middle of June, if we had got here, look, Dave Anderson, there might be age factor, I guess, why a team might be reluctant, although I wouldn't agree with that, but that might be maybe why they're holding back. But if we got to the middle of June with an extra team and Bairstow and Jaiwai haven't been signed, if we had said this 6 months ago, I'd be stunned.
Yeah.
Stunned. And I am really surprised. And the Jaiwai one probably does have a little bit of what you just mentioned. But Cam Bairstow, who's a guy who's played in the NBA, has represented Australia, has had his injury concerns and has battled through them and has spoken about how hard it was at different times, but had a really good year for a team that made the playoffs last year and can fit a role, which he proved last year at Brisbane. I'm very surprised that no one's given him
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine his situation, and I've spoken to him. He said, I'm keen to not really kind of talk too much about my free agency right now, which is cool. That's his decision. But you imagine he's not going to come cheap, and nor should he. Because like you say, he was an impactful player last year for a playoff team. So he's not going to come cheap. And when you look at, you take his numbers from last season and you combine the fact that you combine his resume of being a former NBA player not too long ago. Okay, there were some injuries. He's going to have some currency elsewhere in the world. But you would imagine he would want, ideally, to stay home if a team properly came to the party. So it's a bit, you imagine there's a bit of toing and froing saying, all right, let's hold off because this is really where I want to be. But if push comes to shove and I need to go elsewhere, I will.
Another week down and still Jacob Wiley is officially an Adelaide 36er, but the rumours and innuendo and all that's based on the fact that he's been playing so well in Europe suggested there will be a replacement or there might be an announcement sooner rather than later around Jacob Wiley. I know we've spoken a fair bit about this and we continue to talk about who it might be and you know, if and when it does actually happen, but has there been any movement from you heard anything?
Well, there's something that somebody's working on. I won't say. But the word on the street is if they get this guy as good as Jacob Wiley was for the 36ers, this guy would be maybe better.
So you're suggesting if they get...
This is not Lavoie Allen who we
This is not Lavoie Allen.
So if they get this guy, they might actually make the move to release Wiley. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's not what he's suggesting.
Isn't it?
He's suggesting that Wiley will get bought out by a team.
Wiley's going to get bought out.
So you're talking Wiley's already...
Yeah, they're not trying to get rid of Wiley. Let's just put in our head right now.
No.
A team in a EuroLeague team
Wiley,
is
in
going
your
to get
mind,
bought
Wiley
out.
is gone.
In my mind, Wiley's gone because a EuroLeague team is going to grab him.
The player coming in...
Here's the buyout, Adelaide. Wiley, come to Europe with us, right? The guy that I believe will sign in Adelaide, and it's not Lavoie Allen, he's going to be more athletic than Wiley and tougher inside.
Where's he come from?
America.
No. What league?
I'm not sure. I can't say.
I'm wondering whether Corey and I are thinking of the same guy.
I believe we're thinking of the same guy. And I'm telling you this right now.
I don't know if we are. We haven't talked about this off air.
That's true. It's been a while. But this guy's going to be dangerous. He comes in this league. I'm telling you right now.
I know one guy that they are considering in this position. And Joey Wright was able to have a good look at this guy at Summer League a couple of years ago when he was a part of the coaching staff for the Utah Jazz. And Nathan Sobey and Mitch Creek were both on that roster. So Adelaide fans, go ahead and look down and look at that team and who played well and who put up numbers, who Joey Wright was having a look at, and that might be your guy.
Guess we'll wait and see. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got for now.
All right. Hey, New Zealand's got an interesting situation, and this has, well, really been littered with rumour and innuendo around their own coach as well as we head towards NBL 20. But we do know that RJ Hampton will be at the New Zealand Breakers, and they've got a nice little squeeze when it comes to point guard because last year it was Shea that started the point guard. Jared Weeks had a really good year backing him up as the number one, or as a number one guard. But if we look at this right now, they're smacked with guards and with point guards. Corey Webster, of course, doesn't play much in the point, but can dribble if he has to. Weeks is there. Shea last year started. And, of course, you go down the bottom to RJ Hampton, who we believe in some of the negotiations might have been, if not promised, at least definitely given the you're going to play a lot of minutes as the starting point guard. What do you make of it?
Well, it's an interesting situation because they've got 3 point guards now who legitimately could play a bunch of minutes. And as you say, Shea was the starter last year and Jared Weeks was outstanding. I think that there's a squeeze that is going to result in some movement on that roster. And I would not at all be surprised to see Shea Ili suit up elsewhere.
Where?
Somewhere across this side of...
Considering every other team is across.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually raised this last week.
I'm hearing that he's might end up landing at a team where he has some pretty strong connections. Paul Hanare coaches him for the national team. Dean Vickerman coached the Breakers a while back. Alex Pledger is another tall black. I think that could be an interesting landing spot for Shea Ili.
I raised this last week that I think one of them is going to find a new home, and similar to that, I think the connection there with Hanare and Ili, and the fact they're still looking for a backup point guard because they haven't signed Pete Hooley yet. They've of course got Mello Trimble out the back there as a starting PG. What do you make of it?
Look, I agree with Liam. Somebody has to go. All right. This young phenom is coming over here to play minutes. All right. So one of those guards got to go. Weeks or Ili. He says Ili, cool. Ili's out of there. The guys that the strong ties are to where? Melbourne United. Shea Ili, to me, good talent. He's a backup.
He's an excellent backup.
Excellent backup, which means it makes sense. Ili, come to United, join your guys, Vickerman and Hanare. RJ's going to play all those minutes. Weeks to push him in practice, and you'll get the backup minutes. And there you go.
I actually think, as much as he's a great talent and he's a good guy and he's a Kiwi and he's a tall black and all those things, I actually think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally you don't want that, but that squeeze could be an issue as the season progresses. You got a guy, maybe one or two guys who aren't feeling like they're playing the minutes that they want. Okay, it's a good problem to have a lot of talent and to have, guys that you can call on when there's injuries, but I think that it could work out well for both teams, and certainly for Melbourne United. I mean, if they can lock him in there as a backup point guard, one of the best defensive players in the league, not just in his position, in the league. And if you want to throw, you could even throw out a two-guard lineup there with Ili as a lockdown defender on a Casper Ware or a Bryce Cotton or someone like that, and have Mello Trimble creating at the offensive end.
What are we hearing about the coach?
Well, there's reports.
Oh, there's been reports for a month.
Yeah.
Are you hearing anything new?
No.
Are you?
No.
Has the current coach called you at all lately?
I've been out of the country on work.
Oh, you've been out of the country.
I've been on leave.
Didn't have your number overseas?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
All right, calling 3x3. Talking about 3x3, FIFA 3x3 World Cup teams have been announced. The Australian teams, of course, during the course of the week as we have a look at them there. And there's some familiar names from the Australian teams that have been doing very well on the world stage in the last couple of tournaments as well as we have a look at them. Tell you what, bigger font would have gone straight at the back.
Tom Wright, Greg Hyatt.
So no Lucas Walker.
No Lucas Walker.
Steele in, Walker out. And what is that? Hannah Zavic out and Keely Frawley back in. I think the women will medal.
They'll medal?
Yep.
This is the first time the men have been at the World Cup, isn't it?
You tell me about that, Cam.
I'm pretty certain. Well, actually, hang on a second. We've got a 3x3 expert here.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
This is the first time the men have been.
The women have been there before. The men
have been
not.
there before.
Yeah.
But for me, this is really going to tell the strength of these two teams representing Australia. Because that World Cup in Amsterdam, let me tell you, that's going to be no joke.
Now, are we going to lose you?
No.
No.
At some point, I'll be lost, though.
Yeah.
You'll be lost. You'll lose.
There are some who question it halfway through shows at times.
We talked about Harry Frawley and the work he's doing in the off season and how that's going to help him coming in with Adelaide. Boy, Tim Conrad is going to come in and
blaze it. Oh my
He's
God!
going to light it up for
Blaze
Illawarra
it.
this season.
Yeah.
And I think that this 3x3 experience has really helped his game. And another thing that's interesting, Greg Hyer's name up there. I think that there is a chance. I'm told that
He can come back.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
If Greg Hyer returns, that would be incredible.
This is the one thing that I love about how Melbourne United go about their business. They don't leave any stones unturned.
Gotcha.
They speak to people. A couple of years ago, they said, all right, what's the type of small forward we need? And they went, well, that's this. And they looked at it and they said, that's Casey Prather. And what we need is a Casey Prather. And they're like, let's call Casey Prather. Let's go straight to that guy and find out. Let's call Sean Long. Let's talk to these guys, see what we can get. Last year at Summer League, Dean Vickerman, they're talking to everyone. He sits down and has a good long conversation with Demetrius Conga's agent and says, all right, well, where are things at? I understand that maybe there's been a conversation or a phone call placed to Greg Hire just to find out, are you really done?
Funny how you brought up Casey Prather. What did I miss last week?
Nothing about Casey Prather.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was
Oh, you
myself-
wasn't here either?
No,
That's
it was-
right. Welcome back.
It was
Cam just
I did the
forgot
show by myself. Did you not watch it? No, it was myself, Mark Worthington, and Chris Golding last week.
Yeah, CG43.
What are you
Good
telling
job.
me?
Good job by the boys.
We did not mention Casey Prather at all. But
No, it was just funny that he just brought it up, so I
Yeah.
figued I missed something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I'm talking
No,
about
no, a
two
couple of
years
years
ago,
ago.
their championship season. That was the guy they ended up getting. But wouldn't that be... And do you know what? Boy, with the lineup they've put together, a Greg Hire in that locker room is a good play.
I mean, come on, multi-championship winning player. The culture that he comes from, that's
Culture.
in his DNA. So I think that he could only be an asset to any team, let alone Melbourne United.
One club player
Yeah.
would be a big...
It would be.
Out of retirement would be
Not
a big
dissimilar to a
decision.
Luke Hodge in the AFL, maybe, go and help out. We spoke about this after that deciding Game 4 last year in the Championship Series. In that second and third quarter, when someone had to stand up and
Yes.
just get in a big grind it out and get a little dirty, Greg Hire got his hand on...
Mate.
It was a big three-point play and then got his hand on about 3 or 4
He had a
other ones,
massive
so
impact. He
he
turned
did.
that game.
So, you know, if you can't beat them, get them to join you, if that in
Wow.
fact is work. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? All right, before we get out of here, is that a saying or not?
No, not what you just said.
Really?
No.
Still thrown by the new suit you've got from Mongolia. Is there...
Shout out to the men's club.
There
man.
you go.
Shout out to the
I
men's
was about
club.
to say, did you pay full price? And that's my answer right
You
there.
know, friends of the program.
Ah, there it is. All right, quickly before we do get it going, at NBL, hashtag NBL20, hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. Your salary cap for dummies was not an overly easy read for simpletons like myself, Liam, but it was
No.
wonderfully put together, mate. How's it been
Thanks,
received? And how much
Yeah.
time did it take you to actually do the thorough research and try and explain it for us people who
Yeah.
don't maybe get it?
A lot, because it's not really, maths and accounting and finances. Ask my wife. It's not really my cup of tea. So, it took a while to kind of wrap the head around it. I'm still doing it. There's still different elements that I'm still working out. But I think I hope people have said that they appreciate it and have a bit more of an idea of how it all works. And there's some numbers I was able to put out there that maybe haven't been out there before in terms of how you pay the luxury tax, how that marginal rate plays out, what marquee players cost you in the cap, and so on and so forth. So, it was people seem to have enjoyed it.
NBL.com.au to check that out. You got anything before you leave?
CoreyWilliams.net. Check out my website. If you need me for anything, hit me up.
Well, you didn't fan that Twitter argument? I seen Shane
Twitter
Hill.
argument?
Shane Hill tweeted, and you came over the top and called him a
You did
hater. Next
chime
thing you
in.
know, him and Anthony Drimmick were going hammer and tongue, and then
saw
Mitch
you
Creek
chime
come
in.
over the top.
Look, all I said to Hammer was that he
Yeah.
was a hater
Yeah.
about the comment about KD.
You didn't want to keep your powder dry? You wanted to try
That was it. I mean, I couldn't. I just saw that. I'm like, okay, how un-American is it to blah, blah, blah? Every now and then Hammer hates America, first of all. And Americans. Yo, man.
Wow.
Listen, there is about, I don't know, I'm going to say about 50 comments about it. Just check it out. Hammer's my man, but man, if anytime Hammer gets a chance to go at American ball players, he's going.
We are still awaiting the prognosis officially with Kevin Durant. Will he still get a max contract?
Nah, he's not getting it.
Not straight away.
He's going to
Not
have
if
to
it's an
take that
Achilles.
player option.
I'm telling you. Well, I reckon he might opt in with the player
gonna have
option.
to.
But the Knicks would still pay him a max, I'm telling you.
Nobody's paying him a max. Nobody's paying any player $200 to $250 million with the torn Achilles and not knowing before they come back.
I think the New York Knicks would.
Nah, my Knicks is not doing that.
My Knicks. I noticed you haven't worn the jersey for about 3 months.
Well,
He stepped it up.
I mean, you got to level it
now
up,
you
baby.
can't go back from this.
No, you
know that,
can't.
right?
I mean,
Like,
this is new.
We've all got to
Although-
come with you now.
Although the Perth Bandits have hit us up on Twitter.
Listen, what is this Perth Bandits stuff?
They're the baseball team, and it was a little bit of a...
Is it a baseball team for real?
baseball
Yeah,
team?
baseball team in West Australia. There was a little bit slight miscommunication when a journalist in the USA, around Hampton, named the Perth Bandits as the championship team in the NBL. And they've taken it to the next level, which we love.
No.
You're over it.
No, that's not what's going on.
What's going on there?
This is Perth Wildcats superfan Nick Tan and his burner account.
Is it really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Is the Bandits not a baseball team?
Are they?
What's the Perth Bandits?
I don't know.
What's the baseball team in Perth? Either way.
I don't know.
If the Bandits said, whoever it is, super fan or not, if they get a Bandits jersey, we wear it on the show?
No,
Why not?
not at all. I'm like, dude,
Will you? I'll wear it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Probably not. Hashtag NBL Overtime Negative. I'll wear out of here. Good to have you back, man.
Great to be back,
Hey,
man.
keep working out. You look good naked. That's all you need, all right?
That's what it is.
All right.
Train to look good naked, vision body.
There it is. That's the same.
Vision
See
body.
you next week.
Train
This
to
has
look
been
good
NBL
naked.
Overtime.